I haven't seen my sister so happy in years. Merry Christmas.
Okay, so you have joined the voluminous category of Christmas romance movies. What made this script stand out for you, and how did you know you were the right choice for the role of Felicity?
The script really stood out to me. I mean, Rebecca wrote, it was just, it hit all the things that I'm always looking for in a script, which is rare actually, but it was, it made me laugh, it made me cry, and it really filled me with hope. It was so funny. I remember going on a walk with my mom and telling her about the script I had just read. And I was like, man, I really hope I get this because I feel like it's me. And then I go through the whole process and you never know like what they want or if you're the right person, but the words always felt like natural. Like I very much related to this character. And especially at that time, which was, last April. I don't know what I was going through, but it just felt like I was hopeless, and even just that experience had like kind of filled me with hope. So it was kind of like this, I don't know, parallel, I guess. But it was funny when my mom finally saw the film, she was like, "Oh my God, this is for you." And it just made me laugh. It was just funny because it just felt like one of those roles that it just felt very symbiotic or something.
This is the first feature where your name is number one on the call sheet and the title is your character. What responsibility to the story does a lead actor have while balancing the essence of the persona you were creating for Felicity?
I think that this was actually my first opportunity to have that experience. And it really is like, you have to, show up and like, be positive at the very least. I worked every single day and, just like crew. So you just had to show up every day and like be ready and ready to go and like ready to have fun and professional and all of the things.
With the short porch production schedule, what is key to establishing a chemistry or connection to the actor portraying your potential lover? And how do you get over the awkwardness that is inevitable regarding such a connection?
Well, first of all, casting did such an incredible job. Compass Casting knocked it out of the park because I didn't have to do any like acting. I felt like everyone was who they were in the film, which was
good.
Fun and funny, because I remember they kind of had a toss. I mean, I didn't know it was me that they were thinking of, but
Okay.
they had me read with two of the other the Herb Porter and the Brian Jackson, I think, who plays my fiance. And so I didn't know who was going to play who, and
Okay.
I didn't know I was going to play Felicity, but
Right.
once I found out, I think Jack asked me like, "Who do you like better?" or something like that. And I was just like, "Oh, Brian, like he's definitely going to be the main character." And then it was funny that they cast him as my fiance, this man that I would be almost married to. And then I remember when I first met Herb, I was just like, "Oh, he's so infuriatingly nice." And it was just like everyone was who their character was. So,
Wow.
and he's obviously just the most, like, he's like a real life hero. I love him. So
That's so great.
yeah, so it was like my job was done just by casting.
Awesome. All right. What is relatable in your own life to the circumstances of Felicity? What do you think you understand about her that was key to the character? What do you think you bring to the Christmas romance character that nobody else has done?
Well, I think that I always had like this dream of doing like a Christmas movie. So I think, and I, like I was saying, when I read the script, I just totally felt, I know Felicity, I know where she's been, I've been there where nothing is going right, everything's falling apart, and there's just like, what's the use in trying anymore? And I've been there. And so, and like I was saying, it was kind of like I was living the experience of like making a film and like things starting to kind of go forward in life. You know, as the story was happening, I felt like that happening in my own life too.
Oh, that's great.
You know, it was so fun to show up to work and like see the fake snow and you know, like, and all of the decorations and just doing what I love, you know, which is so exactly what Felicity was going through. So yeah, it was like, I mean, we were just married, really.
So the film has a Chicago flavor with the contrast of small town life versus urban life. What appeals to you in both lifestyles? And in your opinion, are the contrasts so far apart as to be completely different or more similar than we think?
Well, I'm definitely a city girl right now. However, my parents live in a small town, like in the middle of a farmland. Um, and they didn't always live there. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. But now they live like it feels like in the middle of nowhere. But I really appreciate that. You know, I appreciate like when a community can like come together and like when we took our walks, we like got the mail for an older neighbor. And I don't even talk to my neighbors in the city. I'm very much like, you didn't see me, you know, like I like to like come and go out of my home. Like, I don't know, like I'm a ghost or something. Yeah, so that's the difference. But I also I love the city. It's like, you know, I can ride my bike everywhere. I can jump on the train, like, and plus like the art museums, the culture. That's what I love about the cities, the big cities the most.
Cool.
So yeah, pros and cons. I mean, pros and cons
Yeah,
of
yeah.
both.
I
But
think you expressed
yeah.
that correctly.
Okay.
Um, so you joined Chicago Med in its fifth season. In coming into a large ensemble show for the first time, what were you hoping for your character, and what has been the best moment for Juliet in your time there?
Um, well, I really went into that not having any idea that it would continue.
Oh, okay.
So it was, and actually they had like this great storyline for Juliet with one of the new doctors. And they ended up cutting it because it was too risque for like to introduce Dr. Crockett to like, you know, audiences. They needed him to be a little bit more wholesome. But they have been the best team to learn from and grow with. Like, I just feel like 1,000 times more confident, you know, after having been with them for like 2 seasons. I I know the demands of the job and I'm still always learning every time it's something new. I mean, I remember literally one day I showed up to set and I had practiced my lines running. And I mean, I play a paramedic. So a lot of the times there's an energy to
Sure.
the scene and the role. But I remember one of the camera guys was like, okay, just like hit your mark. We're doing a close up. And then I could not get it. And finally I asked Nick, who was in the scene with me, and I was like, have I been doing this the whole time? And he was like, he didn't even notice. He wasn't even paying attention to like what I was doing. But you know, that was something I clocked. I was like, okay, like you can bring the energy, but you have to stand still. So there's just like different things you learn, you know, all the time. And they're just, I absolutely adore Chicago Med and the whole team because they're awesome.
Finally, as an actor and interpreter of character, what do you believe is the part of you that expresses his talent the best and best communicates that self to the audience?
I never really know. I feel like take on characters and it's kind of like magic a little bit. You know, I think that the more I dive into a script, it, you know, sometimes it feels like it's happening without even me doing anything or knowing that it's happening. And that's what I love about it, you know, like like I have to be very careful about sometimes choosing things that are a little bit heavier, you know, or like Chekhov is a good example because it's so heavy and dark. And then I'll be like sitting there being like, why am I depressed? You know, and it's like, wait, is this the character or is this me? You know, so sometimes it's hard to separate the two, but all I can ever do is like show up, you know, and be who I say I am, like reading, you know, saying the lines that have been given to me and like hopefully, you know, allowing that to like live and come to life and like saying, you know, just being who I'm like being, I guess. That's all I ever like know how to do. And that's what I enjoy doing because there's like a freedom in that. And there's also like a magic in that. So, and I just hope that I can continue to like do that.
This is Patrick McDonald for HollywoodChicago.com. Copyright 2021.